I'm Dr. Angela McBrady of DoctorFlute.com, and today's flute tip is on playing through your double tonguing. The biggest problem I hear when people are double tonguing is this way of stopping the tongue as it moves between your ta and your ka. So it would sound something like tucka 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 tucka. I call it the hen peck. Now there are other reasons why double tonguing can be kind of hen pecky, but I think it's because we don't play through the double tonguing. Now, playing through the double tonguing means you take your breath, you have that support, or what I call air pressure, you have, which is the same thing, support and air pressure are the same thing, and you're pushing your air pressure, you have steady pressure through your double tonguing, thereby you have steady air. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm blowing extra air through. I'm not keeping air pressure in that I want to blow harder through my double tonguing. Okay, that is blowing through my double tonguing, but not in the musical sense. Okay, that's just letting out a lot of air. I don't have any control over that air. But when I use a lot of support, I breathe from my stomach and my rib cage, and I expand them and I tighten, and then I make sure that when I say tucka tucka ta, that air pressure is through there. Now make sure that your tongue releases the air and doesn't stop. So stopping would sound tucka tucka tucka. All right? It can do that fast, it can do that slow, but that kind of tonguing, of course, you can hear that. It isn't very beautiful. I've heard this so much when students bring me Midsummer Night's Dream and they're tonguing through all that, but it just doesn't flow. It doesn't have that beautiful musical flow. When you double tongue, you want it to sound as if you were slurring. I want to have that same flow, whether I'm slurring to and tonguing to, or tonguing to and slurring to. My double tonguing needs to flow as if I was slurring, but I'm actually double tonguing. Okay. Now let's take a look at Mozart, his Concerto in G. I'm just picking in the third movement the some 16th note passages in here. Now this section right here, and I like to have students just work on this. This section would be around measure 74 in here, where you're starting your double tonguing on the second of your 4/16. So for me and my students, you begin on ka, katakata, katakata, okay? Now first practice with slurring. Now, I hear how that works. I can hear the flow. I'm coming in. My fingers are steady. I'm going to play one time here without support and just doing it with no help from my support and just letting that tongue hit and be very henpecky. Now, I was there, my fingers were together, I had it, but it wasn't beautiful. It wasn't pretty. It didn't feel that musical line going through. Now this time, I'm going to have my air pressure push through. I'm going to keep my tongue light, tucka 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 ta. It's never going to be any heavier than that, but I'm also going to make sure that the airstream doesn't get chopped off. Tucka 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 ta. Tucka 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 ta. Or in this case, ka-tucka tucka 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 ta. Ka-tucka tucka 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 ta. Ka-tucka tucka. And it's very helpful to just practice that without your flute. Ka-tucka tucka 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 ta. ka-ta-ka-ta-ka-ta-ka-ta-ka-ta, and do the however amount, wherever you're practicing, however the amount of sixteenths you have, how many beats you have, and just let it be very light, and keep the air pressure so that you hear that you can make it light. Now, when I play it, I'm going to put those together. So I'm going to keep my tongue light. I'm going to keep the airstream flowing through my tongue, and I'm going to keep the support pressing up so that that air bubble that is created from my support pushes on that double tonguing. Now, could you hear the difference in those? This time I pushed through. I made my tongue. I made sure that my tongue stayed light, but it stayed open. The tongue releases the air. It doesn't stop. Now, sometimes the henpecky sound, tucka tucka tucka, is more caused by the throat closing off rather than the tongue. Tucka 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 ta. I can still keep my tongue light. It doesn't sound as light to me as it does when I say tucka tucka ta. But when my throat closes, the throat can, just jam back and just close that off. Tucka 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 ta. I feel it right down there. It's just tucka tucka ta. And I need to, yawning breath, leave that open. Man, it makes a huge difference. I hear it. It just allows that airstream. I'm not blocking it off. It's staying right there. Now, if you're a ta, if you like to put the two T's on when you come in on that second 16th note, ta-tucka tucka 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 ta, sometimes that can throw off the rhythm. So this is just an FYI. That's often a hard one to come in on because it's hard to tucka 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 ta really fast. That those double T's don't always come out evenly. But if you always alternate tucka 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 ta, so if I come in on the second 16th note, ka-tucka tucka 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 ta, I can make it just very light. So that doesn't have to do with being henpecky and short. That's just an FYI to make your 16ths a little bit easier for you. And sometimes it's hard to adjust because you're used to doing ta-tucka tucka tucka ta. And if that's the case, I can tell you, you can learn it because I did. And I was an adult by the time I learned to switch to ka-tucka tucka ta because I do feel that that's just a better way to do it. So practice your double tonguing, very light. Practice keeping the airstream flowing through tucka 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 ta, not tucka 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 ta. Almost all the time, when I have a student say tucka tucka ta, they say it just like that, but they put it on the flute and they go tucka 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 ta. See if you do that because they don't match up. If you don't say tucka 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 ta, then don't do it on the flute. Tucka 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 ta. It doesn't have to happen that way. So keep the throat open, take that yawning breath, keep the airflow going, and keep the air pressure so that you can stay steady. I always say air pressure, for whatever reason, which I couldn't explain to you why, I just know it works. Air pressure helps you hold on to that beat so that your fingers don't rush. It really is very helpful just to hold on to. You feel like air pressure, your support, if that's the term you're used to, your support holds on to that beat so that you don't rush. And then your fingers and your tongue get ahead of each other and nobody's right on. Ka-tucka tucka ta is off with the fingers doing it, and then it's a big mess. So hold on to that double tonguing by air pressure, open up your throat, and keep your tongue light. And you'll find your Midsummer Night's Dream or your Mozart concerto flows beautifully like the professional sound you're going for. That's today's flute tip. If you like today's flute tip, press the like button, subscribe, comment below, and share it with your friends.